This is the Rock Dog Takeover.
Welcome. By the sound of this voice, you know it. Lauren and James are in France, in Nice. The competition has been, oh, perfect time to get a phone call. I'm going to keep that in there just because that's a
Just
Rock
'cause.
Dog special. Yeah,
Just 'cause, man. Just 'cause you're the rock dog. so,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, so they're in Nice. They competed this weekend. We're actually recording this earlier than they recorded, but I can assure you they did well. They did great. They gave it all they got. All right, I'm not speaking for Lauren on that case. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Lauren did it. She completed it. Shout out
You
to
know
her
she's
and
gonna
Lauren.
smack you.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna get it, man.
Shout out to James and Carlos, and then Jamie, who also, when they were gone, I was thinking, when they were going to leave, I was thinking who I want to know, who else I can have on other than you. I was like, Jamie's going to be perfect, and I forgot that Jamie was there, the competing.
Yeah.
And so this is a Rock Dog Takeover. I get 2 special episodes to myself, and I thought, who better could I get? And I thought about a great person to have right to my side. I'm about to introduce him. Then I have one person next week who I'm also going to talk about next week. But I got a illustrious guest. Let me go ahead and just start my introduction for this guy right now. Because, today I want to talk about a fitness lifestyle, but not with someone who's doing it. I want someone who's done it, who has years of doing it, who's probably had a lifestyle longer than I've been alive. And that's no offense to him, his age or anything. That's saying that he's did it.
I'm proud of my age, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted someone with experience and wisdom on this episode that can help us out through ours. Because if I look as good as he does when I get his age, my wife's going to have to put an ankle monitor on me.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But seriously, we have an illustrious guest. I'm just happy we got him because if this guy isn't working out, he's possibly on a plane and somewhere not in this city. So I'm glad you were able to make it. This guy was a collegiate football player, collegiate cheerleader, then a powerlifter. Then he was a nationally ranked bodybuilder, was on the National Physique Committee, in which he was the Texas State Chairman for the better part of a decade. He's officially a runner now. He's putting some miles in. He's probably got more miles on his feet now than he is running. Than he's flying. He's got a couple of half marathons under his belt. But the best of all, his best accolade that I can think of, that comes to the top of my head that I think about when I was writing this introduction for you, was that you're my High Rocks doubles partner.
That's right.
It's the greatest achievement that I think he's done so far.
Yep.
But please help me welcome Michael the Silverback Johnston. Thank you for coming here today.
Hey, I appreciate you inviting me. It's an honor to be here. I'm all about James in the community, and I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I literally when they told me I was gonna be able to host my own episodes, first guy I thought of right here. I was like, I know someone who's gonna help our listeners out because he has a fitness lifestyle, a lifestyle of fitness, and he's a member of the BC Fitness family. So
That's right.
I wanted to keep it in the house.
That's right.
So you've had a long journey of fitness. How I don't want to, you don't have to say your age if you don't want to.
I'm 59, and
59.
I'm proud of it.
Oh, 59?
I'm 59, and I'm proud of it.
I
Birthday
thought you
was
were like-
April the 29th. So
I thought
just
you were
turned
52.
59. No, 59.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's wow. So you really have probably you. So how did this all start? Your fitness. Let's just wrap it back up. Just where did it all start? We'll start from there, and then we'll work my questions in from there. How did your fitness journey start?
Well, before I start my journey, I want to thank God above for everything because without Him, there would have been no journey.
Amen.
He's been beside me through the good, the bad, the thick, the thin, and like I said, without Jesus, Lord Christ, I wouldn't be here right now. And he went through this journey with me. So, and once again, thank y'all for having me on. But my workout journey, my fitness journey, actually started when I was 18 years old. I was a freshman at Stephen F. Austin State University College, and I was just a skinny little guy, 5'9", weighed 162 pounds wet, and, that was me, and I didn't know any better. And I met this gentleman named Ed Brake during the summer of, 1984, and he worked out. He looked like a big corn-fed country boy from Nebraska. And I said, you know what? I want to work out. We teach me to work out. So I started working out with this guy, and he just beat the snot out of me every day. And I started gaining weight. And I literally went from 162 to like 185, 190 pounds. And I remember when I went home for the very first time, I walked in the door, my mother didn't even recognize me. She
Wait,
came
my
down the
son.
closet, came out of the room with a broom handle trying to hit me with it. She didn't know it was me. But yeah, it was me, and I was 25, 30 pounds heavier.
What was he doing to you over there?
No, it was just heavy weight.
Mm.
I mean, it was just crazy. And he taught me how to eat because I was eating 1 meal a day thinking that was okay. He switched me to 5 meals a day.
Oh, wow.
And so he just automatically upped my protein content, which, you know, back in those days, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have anything. So to learn, you either read it from a magazine or you got it firsthand from somebody that knew what they were doing. But he really piled on the protein. But I was skinny, I was gaunt, so it was easy to put 30 pounds on me.
So when people say freshman 15, you doubled that. We did it in a healthy, good way.
I was, yeah, exactly.
And so when you went to college, was it for football? Did you start off there for football, or what was it?
That's a good question. No, I actually went to college just to get away from home and just to get out and get my 4-year degree. So.
Oh, you were skinny. You went to skinny. You were skinny. When
I was skinny. I played football in high school, but not at that level. I mean, college and high school are two different levels of playing ball. So
how did you become this collegiate football player?
Well, after me and Ed break, I gained all that weight, got strong. I met this girl named Jennifer Shields during school, and she was a college cheerleader, a little muscular thing. And she really intrigued me. She really did, because she could do like all the gymnastic stuff and all that. And there happened to be an opening on the college squad cheerleading, a male, only one. And she goes, well, you need to try out. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try out for cheerleading. Come on. And, you know, back in those days, it was cool to be a cheerleader, but I had no gymnastic background. I couldn't do cheering. I couldn't do any of those stunts that they do. And she goes, well, I'll teach you. So she worked with me for about a month and taught me how to do some stunts and some moves and some things like that. And I could actually wind up doing a backflip.
Oh, wow.
And so they did a call for male cheerleaders. We have one spot, and there were 10 people that actually signed up, and I did too. And I got it. Unbeknownst, I got it.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And then I met my partner, Gigi Urshi, and she was a little short thing, and she probably weighed 150, 155 pounds. That's why they wanted me, because I was so strong. And we worked together all summer. And by the end of the summer, the first football game, we were doing stunts. We were doing, you know, pop chairs, everything. And it was crazy. And I remember my mom and dad, when they came to the very first football game to see me, and they were like, who is that? You know, he's a totally different person.
Yeah.
I mean, he's over there doing stunts and this. But so I was a college cheerleader for 2 years. And halfway through the second year, and by the way, I was on partial scholarship the second year as a cheerleader, the football team, their kicker was doing really, really bad. And I was a high school kicker, and I worked out with some of the football players at the field house, and they knew I was a kicker. So they said, Michael, you need to try out. I'm like, hold on, I'm a cheerleader.
Yeah.
I'm not a football player. I'm a cheerleader. I go, no, you don't understand. You need to try out. So I did. I went and tried out. I was kicking 60-yard field goals. Boom. Kicking them. Boom, boom, boom.
Dang.
But there's a caveat to that, okay? That's easy. Now then, let's bring the defensive line up to the line with a defensive center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, and two defensive ends that weigh, you know, almost 250 to 300 pounds. Hike the ball. Let's see how far you can kick the ball.
Yeah, with pressure coming at you.
And your heart rate's going up like do. And we did it. I could do it about 45 yards, not 60 anymore, but I could make about 45. Coach came up to me and he goes, you know what? You're not a very good kicker, but you got some good size. Have you ever thought about trying out for linebacker? And I said, no, that's not really what I want to do. I'm not very fast. He goes, yeah, but you're strong. So I worked out with the team. I never went to a game. I was basically the meat squad, but I was on the team, right? And then one day I had a freak accident and I ripped the muscle in my shin cavity. And you notice I've got a scar from my knee all the way to my ankle. And that ended my football and my cheerleading career. So,
ouch.
But I was actually on both teams. Yeah, same year.
What I like, what I just heard was just like, you told yourself what you weren't. I'm not a cheerleader. I don't know what I'm doing. Then you became that. And then
That's
the
right.
football players, I'm not a football player. I'm a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And then you became that.
Yep.
So like that, just right there, that quick little 4 or 5 years of college changed you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It told you like, push yourself.
Well, I've got a saying, and I keep repeating: if you don't shoot the ball, you never make a basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true.
Yeah.
If you don't try something, you're never going to succeed in anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so
That's awesome. I mean, when I was a wee lad, my sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law now, I guess, she told me to become a cheerleader. She was like, she sold it to me really good, too. She's like, man, you can look up their skirts all the time. I was like, oh, yeah.
now
Awesome.
this is a family-oriented thing, but we did that all the time, and it got so old, it was just like nothing. I mean, it's no big deal because when you do a pop chair, your hand goes right in the rear end, okay?
Mm.
And after just doing that 1,000 times, it's like I don't want to do this anymore. But so the newness I can see is exciting, but afterwards it's just same old, same old. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So how much were you lifting in college?
I was lifting a lot. I mean, I was very, very strong. Once I got over my injury of my leg, and that took about 4 or 5 months, I decided I wanted to try powerlifting. And wow, that right there, when you go from doing reps of 10 to 12 to reps of doing 3 to 4 to 5 to put on weight, size, and strength, it's unbelievable how your body changes.
So do you have this something inside you that just wants to push as far as you can go, see how far you can go? Like, where does this come from? Like this powerlifting, like you went from, where did powerlifting come from? How was it even introduced?
A buddy of mine was powerlifting, so I said, I could do that. Let me try doing that. But it's funny you bring that up because I went to my therapist this morning, Mickey Grimman, and hey, Mickey, I love you to death. And I told her that same thing. I said, do I have something wrong with me that I want to do something and just be the extreme of it? And but it seems like whatever I do, I want to do the best at it.
Yeah,
I do.
That's a beautiful trait, though.
You know what?
Trait.
It's a sales ability. You know, it's a salesman in me. But I became a power lifter. I wasn't very good at first, but I learned technique and how to get stronger, faster, bigger, better. And I did that for about 3 years. And I got really strong, but that's where I hurt myself. I hurt my shoulder, I hurt my back. These are nagging injuries that I've got still today that I got way back then.
So there's no rest recovery back then, or just that weight?
Oh, it's just weight. There. Once again, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have anything. We had nothing. I mean, the supplements back those they were just dumb.
Yeah, you guys were the beta to powerlifters today.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I remember when the first amino acid came out. Okay, and it was in this big white jar and these big white horse pills. And they said, take 10 a day, take 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and 10 at night. And it took 20 minutes just to eat 10 of them because they were so big.
Oh, my goodness.
And they didn't tell you to eat it on an empty stomach because if you have protein in your system, it doesn't do anything. So I ate 2 or 3 bottles not knowing that it wasn't doing anything for me because I'd always do it on an empty stomach. I still remember when Metrics, the brand, was 2 different containers. You had to buy one container, other one, and you had to mix them together in a glass of water in a blender. That's how old I am. So that's how old I am. Yeah. So.
But you got to witness like this transformation of fitness, like the stuff, the extracurricular stuff, like the nutritions. You got to see these changes evolve into what it is today. Like, how do you feel about it? How it is today? Like, how do you when you see these amino acids that you can just drink that you can
it's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like everything today's 24/7, right? Everything's 24/7 nowadays. Back then it was like you couldn't do anything in less than 2 weeks. So what you could do in 2 weeks you do 24/7 with today. That's how things have been upgraded. And information at your fingertips today when we didn't have any information back in those days. None.
Yeah, so how did you get your information? It was like you had a teacher back, the guy who owned that gym help you out. Other than that, when you went to powerlifting, how did you learn from there? With other powerlifters?
Other powerlifters. And I got into running. And so how I got into running, and that's always been my love dream since then, is until today. But I took a jogging class in college, jogging 101, believe it or not. And I still remember my teacher, Tommy Fleming. And just a nice guy, super nice guy. And he ran marathons back in the 80s, which that was unheard of, And once again, we lived in a time period where we didn't have Garmin watches. We didn't have the heart rate monitors. We didn't have good shoes. We didn't have anything. We had a stopwatch. That's all we had. And so he taught us about running. About heart rate, about things like that. None of this 80-20. We didn't have the 80-20 rule back. But I still remember the final exam. And the final exam was we had to run 5 miles. So if you ran 5 miles between 25 and 38 minutes, you got an A. Then you add 8 minutes for a B, 8 minutes for a C, add 8 minutes for a D, and then you failed. I did it in 26 minutes.
Oh, wow.
5 miles in 26 minutes.
You were moving.
But I was 21 years old. I was just a young buck. So,
man, you were moving.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. That part I didn't know about you.
I'm slow today, but
you were moving.
Yeah, but that's actually started my love for running, and because with running, you know this, Rocky, and I don't have to tell you this, but maybe the listeners, but you get into your own little world. You get into your own little zone.
Yep.
And I can calculate and do things in my brain when I'm running that I normally, it takes me a little while to do on the computer. And I think it's just the thud of running, thud. You get in this hypnotic state, and then you have a dopamine release.
Yep,
and then it's just, boom, it's just a different world. And all of a sudden, it's 45 minutes later. But I've been able to articulate and create presentations in my mind as I'm running, and as soon as I get home, I'll just sit there and write it down. Yeah.
Oh, for like work.
Yeah, for work. Oh, yeah, for work. It's very therapeutic.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome. Like, hold on, let me go for a run real quick so I can get my
Yeah,
presentation
exactly.
ready to go.
Take out the ear pod and just think about what you're doing, or listen to some opera while you're doing it, and you believe me that you can brainstorm. Totally. So
yeah, I've definitely been something in that state, but never had a presentation come out of it.
Oh yeah, I've had a bunch of
like,
presentations.
More like problems I was going through. It's like, oh, let me go run real quick. Let me think this through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so overcoming is pretty cool. So you hurt yourself in college, and then why didn't you stop after that? What made
Why
you
didn't I?
Yeah, why didn't you stop? Why did you want to do powerlifting if you just hurt yourself playing football and like?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. This really set me back. I actually dropped out of college for a semester just to get my wit about me, because this was devastating to me, because I loved actually being a cheerleader. I liked playing football, but I had to get over this, and it took me a full semester to get it out of my head.
Like you lost your life a little bit there. Like
Yeah, there was a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
A big chunk of yourself.
Exactly, there was, and I had to basically, just develop the fortitude to go out there and do it again. And I joined a gym once I got back home here in Houston, and I met some bodybuilders and started working out with them again and just doing my thing. And then it dawned on me that, look, I got to go back to school. Yeah. I've got to go back and get my college degree. Nobody in my family has a college degree. They do now, but back then, no. So I had a goal that I was going to graduate from college, and I set my mind to it. So
that's awesome. So you are an overcomer.
Big time.
Yeah, I like that. I like hearing that. You didn't stop because, I mean, I've been there before. I mean, look at me now, I'm skinny, but no one because of life. It was just my own choices. But there's so many people who like get hurt and that's it. Like I tried it, I did it, and now it's the past. This is my new life. This is who I am now. You didn't like that. And
I would be dead right now if I did that.
Yeah,
I'm serious. I would be dead, because my fitness journey, I have went ups and downs, bumps and bruises. I'm not gonna lie, but I have overcome a lot of things because of my fitness, and so have you, though. So have you, Rocky. Some of the stories you've told me, but I don't know where I would be without fitness. I really don't, because it's just been so ingrained in me.
Yeah, I mean, you're 59. I can't imagine the life, the stuff, like the tribulations you had to go through, but yet you're still, I mean, look, you're still active. You're still doing it. You never stop. You never let life get in the way. And so many people let life get in the way. You have a job. You have a family. You have stuff you got to do, but yet you still made time. I mean, when I was your partner, you were up at 5 a.m. to go run
every day.
Like,
and I'll still do that every day.
Yeah, so
because that's the only time I can run.
Exactly, you make it happen.
That's it. So.
And that's most people don't have that in them. Like I don't have the time for it. It's not going to happen.
You do have the time in. You just don't. You decide not to do it.
To do what you want to do.
Now you've got my grandbaby, so I mean, that's a little different. But if you didn't have Nyla there, you'd be out there running 4:35 in the morning. You would.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So we've seen this transition from bodybuilding. Then you became this chairman. You started judging these competitions.
Yeah.
What was different from those two perspectives, from being a competitor, nationally ranked, to actually judging these things? What was like that? What was the difference? How was your fitness journey then? Were you like were you working out to be one of them still, or were you just working out to get by and because your lifestyle is what you had been doing? What was that?
That's a
that
great
mind
story, but let me go back a little bit and talk about the bodybuilding aspect. So I became a bodybuilder, and I actually competed. I competed in 8 competitions over a 5-year span. The best I ever did is I won the Texas State Championship back in 1994.
Oh yeah.
I actually did the Ironman Nationals and just got my rear end beat. And that the higher you go up, it's like the funnel, upside down funnel. The milk, travels to the top. I couldn't hang with the big boys, and I came into a V in the road. I said, do I want to continue this bodybuilding path, or do I want to do what I went to school for and continue in pharmaceuticals? I think I could still do both, but there's no way I can compete at that level. So I decided to become a judge. So in 1995, I became a National Physique Committee judge, and I actually judged all the shows here in Texas. And then one of my really good friends, Deshae Ebert, actually ran the state. She was the Texas state chairman. So we became really, really good friends, really, really close. And in 1999, Deshae tragically died. It was really, really sad. And I remember I was sitting there mourning, and the phone rang. And I answered the phone, and it was Jim Manion. He runs the NPC, also the owner of the IFBB, International Federation of Bodybuilders. And he goes, Michael, and I go, yeah. He goes, really sorry to hear about Deshae. I know y'all are really close. And I go, yeah, thank you. And he goes, well, I know this is not a good time, but would you mind running the state of Texas? And I'm just like, wow, what a compliment when, you're in the dirt. Basically somebody just died and, they want you to take it over. What a compliment. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. And at the time, the state of Texas bodybuilding was in disarray. It was in bad shape. The promoters were making money on the shows, but they weren't doing as well as they should have. So I took it over. I turned it completely around. I retrained the judges, retrained the promoters, and we made it into what it was a cash cow type business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. You were running events like High Rocks. I remember because going to High
exactly.
Rocks and doing events, you're like, oh man, they're making some money over here.
That's why I said that, because I'm looking around going, wow, these guys have thought of things I didn't think about when I was a promoter. Because I promoted one show, the Texas State Championship. That was my show. That was my way of making money from doing this, because this is a volunteer job, by the way. I didn't get paid. The only way you got paid was by promoting a contest, and that was it. So when I go to High Rocks, I'm just looking, I go, wow, I was little bitty compared to what these guys are doing.
Yeah,
these guys got it down.
Yeah, they're doing a 3-day event in these.
Yeah, and I was making maybe $140,000 per weekend. They do that in just an entry fee.
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now you're doing this bodybuilding, and so what comes after that? Judging. What comes after judging?
Well, okay, so back in 2006, I didn't want to do this anymore. Didn't want to do anything. So there were some political things going back and forth between the state of Texas and actually the owners of NPC IFBB, and I just didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I didn't want to follow that path.
Yeah.
They started coming out with things like men's fitness, not bodybuilding, but men's fitness, and I just really didn't want anything to do with that because I'm just an old bodybuilder like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, those type guys. That's the area. Lee Labrada, that's where I came from. In this new stuff, I just really didn't get into it. I really didn't.
You've actually had a dinner with Arnold, right?
Oh, yeah. I had dinner with Arnold one night. He was on this with Maria, and I was down at the stage, and I was just in goo-goo because there's Arnold, there's Arnold. There's my idol, you know. And I don't think I said 2 words to him. By and by, that was about it. But there was the man right there.
The governor.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's right there is a feat in its own. But you got to know the big dogs.
Yep.
The Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman used to be a good friend of mine. He promoted the Ronnie Coleman Classic in Dallas, which was one of my shows underneath my umbrella. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you got to literally be at that elite top level in your field.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of like. That's like making it in my eyes. To me, that's like you worked for it and you made it to that point. How did you find the ambition to keep going, to keep working after that? How do you you made it? Most people when they make it, like, oh, that's it. I can retire, I can sit back, get my house on the beach, whatever it is, that mentality. But like, you did it, and yet you're still striving for more. You're still going.
You know, I just never stop. I mean, the thing is, once I got out of the bodybuilding industry, you know, it took me about a year to basically settle down that, you know, I'm not at that level anymore. And that's when I started running again. And, you know, it just all became full circle with me and everything that I do, you know. And I slowly got out of the gym just because of nagging injuries, but I still stayed active. I started doing CrossFit. I was good at CrossFit till I tore my bicep and my hamstring.
Nice.
But, you know, I love doing that. And I just continued running. But my running was like going to the gym every day and doing biceps. You can't go to the gym every day and do biceps.
Yeah.
So I knew nothing about running. I was just out there running just to run. And I don't think it really became where I was smart about what I was doing until I met you and James. And y'all changed my life. Change your mind, change your life.
Yep.
You definitely did. So I was running at it for a long time. Now I'm very serious about it. So
Yeah, you're putting in some miles
That's
now
right.
when we talk. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, whoa,
yeah.
who is this guy?
I remember the first time you came up to me and you go, "Wow, you're a runner." And I was so proud when you told me that I'm a runner, because I never considered myself a runner. But when you told me that, I was like, yeah, I guess I am. I mean, yeah, I'm putting in the miles. So.
Yeah, you are. You're official. You're on the Running with James podcast, but it's a Rock
That's
Dog
right.
Takeover.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But did you hear that, guys? Get a promotion to plug in Run Coaching with James. This guy changed his life doing that.
Yep. I actually met James through Rocky 2 years ago. And even with the background that I had in running, James still started me out at 20 minutes 3 times a week.
Oh, that hurts. I bet that was a pride hit.
So, you know, I bit up my pride, and I did it, and, you know, got better and better and better at it. And then all the things that James offers, the high rocks, the obstacle course, you know, I tried all those things. Obstacle course, I couldn't do that. There's nothing about that appealed to me. I have bad shoulders, and it just wasn't fun to me.
Yeah, you're heavy with bad shoulders. I can't imagine.
Oh, my Lord. So I need to get this one replaced. So I'm 59. I got it finally, you know, after years of abuse and treating my body like a carnival, I've got to get this replaced. So, yeah. That's why I do so bad at wall balls.
No, you do good at everything else. That's
Oh,
where, that's
my
where I got to
Lord.
fit in.
Hurts so bad. So,
I
yeah.
bet. Yeah, I mean, that's a long race in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so what has nutrition been? How's nutrition changed for you, like from I guess the beginning all the way to now? Like, because I'm sure 5 times a day. Are you still eating 5 times a day?
No, I don't do that anymore. No. I don't have time to eat 5 times a day. I literally do not have time. I don't like protein bars. I don't like drinking protein shakes. I want to eat real food. And that's one of the things, you know, James has pretty much instilled in me is, you know, eat real food when you can, and only eat protein bars and shakes when you have to.
Is that like a big thing back then for you?
Back then?
Yeah.
Back in the day, I didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we were cooking, scrambling eggs and putting Spam in it. We were putting deviled eggs in it. Or, you know, the deviled egg mix.
Yeah.
Just anything you could just put on weight. We didn't care if we put on muscle weight or fat weight. We just wanted to get big. And there was really no rhyme or reason. I didn't know anything about nutrition until I started bodybuilding. And then I went to a nutritionist that's here in Houston, Keith Klein. And this guy, he knew his stuff. And he got me on a program, and we ate 6 times a day. And it was, you know, every meal you had a protein and a carb. And, you know, as you got closer to your contest, he would cut stuff out and starve you to death a little bit at the end. And, you know, you'd deplete your water and get on stage. So.
Oh, man. I don't think I've ever changed my life for food.
Oh, well, yeah, it will. Yeah, I tell you what, it's amazing what you put in your body. Okay, the lowest I ever got body fat percentage was about 2.75.
Oh, my goodness.
And, you know, you can't even measure on calipers with that. You actually have to get in the water and dip. But I tell you what, I could eat a potato, and I could, at that low of body fat, it would just show up. You would see what it would do to your body. Either it would pump you up, or you'd get depleted, or you'd eat a steak and you could just see your arms just swell up. And all it was just the nutrients going into your system. So I took the knowledge that I learned from bodybuilding and basically what I know now, and I'm just staying consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying consistent with what I do. My weight right now is about 195. I'm happy with that. I actually just started taking creatine monohydrate just to see if I could put muscle into my water into my muscles, because right now it's so hot outside. Anything we can do to hydrate ourselves. And
would that work as a hydration?
that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm thinking it will, because you drink water and it just goes directly into your muscles. So if anything you can do to stay hydrated. So
people don't know your background, but you're in pharmaceuticals, so you kind of know what you're talking about when it comes to big things.
Yeah.
You're very smarter than you look. Like, very smarter than you look. I'm not saying you look dumb, but
well,
you look smart. But you're like,
being a meathead all your life.
yeah, exactly. You don't know.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Bro math or something like. You know real math.
Yeah.
You know real stuff. So
Yeah.
like, you're not gym intelligent. You're intelligent.
Yeah, I've been in pharmaceuticals for 32 years now, and I've been in chemotherapy 31 of those 30. No, I take that back. It's 33 years now, so it's been 32 years in chemotherapy.
Oh man, yeah. See, that's awesome. That's awesome. But so like, what are these common misconceptions that people have with like stuff today? Like, was creatine on your radar before this, or what are some things like? What are people taking that like they probably shouldn't be if they don't even know how to use it or what to use it for?
Well, I think creatine can hurt you in the long run, especially when you're a bodybuilder, and you really know how to need to take that, because your muscles will get bigger. And the thing is, people get bigger, they go, oh, I can lift more weight. So I've heard of so many instances where people rip their biceps, rip their pecs from just thinking they can lift more when they really can't.
Yep.
And so that's not really a misconception. That's truth. That's reality. I didn't take creatine back when I was a bodybuilder because I was already big, but I think the creatine now as a runner will definitely help. I actually was listening to a podcast, Matt Chow out of Austin, and he did it, and he really liked it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what about like BCAAs? What are those things? I don't even fully know what those are. Like,
so branched chain amino acids. The thing is, you have to eat so much of them, and so many. I mean, you have to eat like 20,000 units a day, or milligrams or grams a day of this stuff, and they don't taste good. If you get the pure form, and that's the thing, supplements don't taste good. Good ones, the right ones, don't taste good. They put sugar and everything in stuff nowadays to make them taste better. But if you want a good BCAA, they don't taste good. They're nasty, and I just can't. I couldn't eat them. I couldn't do it.
I didn't know that part because I had some BCAAs back in the day, and I just would put it in my water, and I was like, oh, it tastes good.
No, they're not supposed to taste good. Protein powder does not taste good. But, Lila Brada, he's got great protein, but there's so much fillers, and not only in his, but everybody's got fillers, sugar. I mean, so you get a big container of protein. There's probably this much protein and this much filler.
Oh, wow.
So I tell everybody I know, if you want pure 100% whey protein, go to Sprouts, and they sell it in a little container, and you just dip it and you get what you want. And it doesn't taste good. I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't taste good. Mix it up with like 3 equals or 3 sweet and lows, and that's better.
So I used to take 100% gold standard whey. So I used to go to Sprouts and take the real stuff?
Yes, the real stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, that used to get me right when I was so right now I'm probably 147. But when I was on top of it, I was 157, probably 10 pounds heavier. But it was like, I think I had, when I did measure myself, it was maybe 5% body fat. I was nice. I was lean. I was cut.
Yep.
But I was on whey protein. That's probably the only thing I took that was it. 'Cause I didn't know anything. I had this trainer who my cousin was a trainer. He was like, take this whey protein. That's all you need. The only thing else, everything else is crazy and extra. I was like, all right, it's perfect. Because all I was doing was lifting. Then I started coming to James and I started running. And he got me doing like extra stuff, the obstacle courses.
Exactly.
So I was getting more cut doing
functional fitness.
Exactly.
Functional fitness.
Yeah. I would come to James here. I would run with James every morning, like at 6 a.m. or whatever, 7 a.m. We would go meet up and do about 8 miles. Then I come back around 2 o'clock. We do another workout, like Spartan. It was Spartan at the time. And then I go to Lifetime at night from 7 to midnight. The first hour and 2 hours was just pure basketball. Then after that, I hit the sauna, and I go lift with my friend. We'd go lift weights. I wasn't a big lifter. I definitely hit 225 10 times. I do remember that. That was like one of my milestones. Like, yes, I did it. But that was it. All I did was whey protein. But that was me. It kind of, I don't want to say my peak because I don't think I peaked yet. I think if I really focus, I can peak. I can still do damage. But that was like me.
You're young. I mean,
Yeah.
you're still a young buck. There's still a lot of life in you.
Yeah, that's
so
what I know that.
There's still a lot of life
Oh
in you.
yeah, I know that, and I don't want to put that off too much more because I mean I was back to working out and everything, and my partner quit on me. I was getting a new partner because you were going to go solo on me. I was going to let you do your endeavors because you're just the beast at what you do. So I had a partner and he up and left on me. He moved out of town. So it was kind of just I was like, oh.
Hey, if you need a partner, I'll be glad. I'll be happy to be your partner.
You heard it
man.
here. You
Yeah.
heard it here, guys.
I'll do it. I'll be glad to. What did we get, a 112 this last go round?
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, that was good. That was awesome. But, Rocky, my fitness journey has not been all glamour and glitz and glamour. There was, back in 2017, I almost died.
What?
And once again, it was God looking over me, not knowing. I didn't know this, but I was running probably 40 miles a week, just crazy, and I hurt my lower back. So I had to go to the orthopedic surgeon to get an actual. It's an epidural that they actually put in your spine to basically numb you. It basically disintegrates the nerves, so you don't have pain anymore. And when I woke up out of anesthesia, the anesthesiologist was in front of me. He goes, "Michael, you're an AFib."
Oh.
Well,
you didn't know that before?
No, and I didn't even know what AFib was. Okay, I had no idea what AFib. I'm the oncology guy, not the cardiology
Can you explain
guy.
what that is to the
Oncology is chemotherapy.
I mean, AFib.
AFib. I'll say AFib is irregular heartbeat. You have it's your heart beats off electrical, and when you have AFib, your electrical system is off. So instead of your heart going beat, 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 it's going beat, 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 bang, bang, bang.
Oh, you're all over the place.
It's crazy. It's just nuts. And I didn't know it. I had no idea. So he goes, the anesthesiologist said, "Look, I need you to promise me that you're going to go straight to the ER right now. That's how bad this is. You need to go." I'm like, all right. So we went to the ER and they checked me in, and I was there for 2 days. And then I finally got a cardiologist, went to the cardiologist. They ran all these tests on me, and they do this thing called an echocardiogram. They were doing a stress test on me, and they did this other one that basically they test the efficiency of your heart, the pump in, the pump out. I forget what it's called, but normal is a 75. I did a 28.
Oh, my.
The Dr. Shazad, my cardiologist, hey, Dr. Shazad, if you see me, he couldn't believe I was still alive. How could my heart be that weak, a 28, and still run 40 miles a week? I mean, he just shook his head. And Rocky got really scary. It was to a point to where we were there, me and Rose, and he goes, "We need to talk about you going downtown to get a heart replacement."
Oh, my goodness.
And it was that point in my life. Oh, I was a big drinker too. So the drinking had a lot to do with it. I was drinking a lot. And it was at that point I decided I'm not going to drink anymore. I quit drinking. I don't do hard liquor anymore. I might have wine or beer, but no more hard. And I continued to run through all out this, but I was on all these meds. And these medicines just basically control your heart rhythm, your heartbeat. So if you run, you get up to 140, it just like grabs you and holds on to you to where you can't go any higher. It's a weird feeling, strange feeling. And slowly but surely, I got stronger. And I did a cardioversion, and that's where they actually shock you, and you're dead, and you come back to life. And it's like rebooting your computer, but you reboot your heart. And then I was back in rhythm again. And then about 3 months later, I went back into AFib. Then they did what's called an ablation. An ablation, that's pretty technical. They actually go in through your veins
arteries?
in your legs into your heart. And basically what they do is all the valves in your heart, they scar them. They burn them on the inside of your heart, and they just scar all over. And what happens is an electrical impulse, once it goes in,
Straight.
it can't go but where it needs to go because of the scarring.
Yeah, it goes straight to the spot.
And I had that done, and I'm fine. I'm fine ever since. So, but I tell you, it was worth my journey with God because I should have been dead.
That goes back to kind of with the, how did you not stop after this? How did you just kept going? I mean,
Because if I
that's awesome. Like, that shows your character.
I laugh. I laugh. You know Rose. I love Rose to death. And when I first met Rose, I used to laugh at her because she was doing cardio in the gym. Why are you doing cardio? Don't do cardio. And now look at me. I can't get it off. But, I owe running a lot. I mean, I really do. I really do.
And now let's talk about your running journey. Here
Yeah.
we are. So you were in AFib,
Mhm.
and was the doctor telling you to calm down for running? Have they told you to not run? Have they?
So I had an electrical doctor,
Yep.
cardiologist, and I had a regular cardiologist. The regular cardiologist was saying, "Now you need to stop." This guy was saying, "Oh, just keep running, do what you got to do." And so I kept running because he told me it would actually make my heart stronger.
Yeah.
As as my journey, as my heart got stronger, that would help it get stronger. But I used to tell Rose, I said, you know what? If I had a heart attack and died running, I'd be happy. Seriously, I would have been happy. It probably wouldn't have looked good, me sitting on the floor, but I would have died happy. I would
Actually-
have died like doing what I like.
I had a good friend die running.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 25. Had a heart attack and then a brain.
Brain aneurysm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was hot. It was like around this time. He did it at noon. He would run a marathon as a workout. He was a collegiate, and after he got done, he became a coach, and he just never stopped running. Like
Yeah.
he was a part of the fastest guy on our team. He was the fastest guy on our team in high school, and he just kept going. And then one day he fell over, not too far from here, just fell over.
Unbelievable.
And in someone's front yard. Thankfully, they took him to the hospital. But at the hospital, they didn't give him oxygen like they should have. And he woke up. That was only time that he woke up. He woke up and saw half his foot was gone. One of his foot was gone, and he never woke back up after that.
Yeah.
It's almost like he had fainted and never came back.
Yeah.
It was like a week. It's like in and out, boom. But that was there was a beauty in that. There's beauty. He died doing what he loved.
And that's my point.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds as though, he wants to. No, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to die doing what I like doing. And my two fears are having a heart attack or dying of cancer, and I refuse to do both. I refuse.
Yep.
So
Amen to that.
I'm going to go out my way.
Amen to
Yep.
that.
So
All right. Let me go back to my question book. Any questions you have for me?
no, Rocky, I know your life story, buddy. You're a good man. You're a
You
good
really
man.
do. So, now that you're at this age, are there any surprises or like unexpected benefits that you have at this age in being in fitness? Because like people sometimes they're like, "Oh, I'm 50, I can't work out no more. What am I doing?" Like, what do you tell to those? What do you say to those guys who are over 50 but don't want to work out or like think they're too old to do it? Like, what are the benefits that come with this?
Well, the benefits are, you're not a big couch potato,
Yeah.
right? I want to be able to hold Nyla when she's grown. I want to be able to hold her. I don't want to be that weak grandpa.
Yeah.
But still, I want to be able to if I want to go run 5 miles, I want to be able to do that. But telling people that are 50 years old and 55, it's almost a little late sometimes because you can't. You have to start your journey
A little earlier.
a little earlier. I mean, you really do. I mean,
Can't shock your system.
yes, you have to. But I mean, by the time you get 50 and you've never worked out, you might have cholesterol problems, hypertension, heart issues. Who knows? High cholesterol, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And I try to tell people that are younger than me, don't take pills. I'm in pharmaceuticals for a living, but we are a pill-taking society, and when you go to the doctor, you expect a prescription. You think, I paid my money, now I need my prescription. That's our attitude. And doctors are so willing to give high cholesterol meds when they're not needed. It's crazy. You don't need to take meds. All you got to do is change your diet and run, and you won't have to do meds. And that's what I keep trying to tell people. But I have a lot of knowledge, and I try to tell people, but they always know better than me. You know that. They always know better. And, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Okay, whatever. So,
Well, usually when people retire, within 5 years they're out.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
having fitness surrounding you, you actually have something to do. You have a purpose. You don't
That's
have.
right.
You feel like because people don't feel like they have a purpose anymore. It's why they just give up. Life kind of it takes over.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't, because life will take over, and you'll become that couch potato. I mean, it's hot outside, and it sucks.
Yep.
And, Sunday Fun Day sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, but those are the days that I cherish and value because I know once I get those over, got it over, man. Got another one. So
On to the next one. So then, I guess your advice would be to just tell them like you start eating. Eating is what you don't take the pills.
No,
eat
you eat, but don't eat crud. Don't eat potatoes. I mean, don't eat chips all the time. Don't eat ice cream all the time. But things that I would like to go back to. People your age, and tell you my journey, and tell you some of the things that I wish that I would have changed. Then I wouldn't be so beat up right now, like shoulders. The simple thing of doing you have that supraspinatus in the back of your that little bitty muscle right there. That muscle right there causes so much problems. You know why? Because nobody uses it. And if you would just go into the gym the first 5 minutes and do rear delts just to warm up that supraspinatus, you probably would never have shoulder surgery or shoulder problems.
Really?
I've had 3 rotator cuffs done, and they hurt so bad. The recovery's horrible, and now I've got to get this shoulder replaced. And it's only because if I could go back in time, that I would do rear delts. Every time I did shoulders or chest, I'd be doing that first.
Yeah, I had rotator cuff in high school. That was the end of my baseball career right there.
Oh, easy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was done.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking. That was a big hit. That was a big hit.
Yeah.
I remember crying like a girl for like a week, 2 weeks straight. It was right before baseball season. I was like, come on. Really?
Well, my nephew, Cade, plays baseball for Odessa, and now he's going to Sam Houston. Tore that tendon in his elbow, man.
Tommy John?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just got it fixed the other day by the Astros orthopedic.
Oh.
And, we hope he comes back.
Next year?
Yeah, I hope so.
Oh, man, that hurts.
Love that kid, though.
I love him, too.
Yeah, so.
Oh, man, that hurts. But so you want them to train their shoulders. What'd you call it again, that muscle?
Supraspinatus.
Supraspinatus. See, all I know is my upper back.
Yeah, supraspinatus is the smallest muscle in your rear delts. And if you would just warm that up, you probably wouldn't have shoulder problems.
So are you a big believer in cross training?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Running and fitness.
If I could go back, if I knew then what I know now, it would be totally different, just 100% different. Because when we would go to the gym as young, it was always, all right, we got to do 15 sets on chest and 12 sets on shoulders and 9 sets on bis, 9 sets on tris. And, you really don't need that much. So Mike Mincer came out with a workout, and I started following it, but it got really, really tough. But he believes that you need to exhaust each muscle group once per week. And it's not done by repetition. It's done by heavy, heavy, heavy weight. And I'm talking sets are 3 or 4 until you can't do them anymore. Now, if you can do a set of 5, it's too light. You need to add the weight. But I did that for about a month, and I gained 10 pounds because you rest so much. Just think about it. You're only doing like 4 sets on chest. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you don't do it again till next week, and you just recover. And the injuries are minimum, but nobody can follow that workout because it's so tough. And it is so hard. Yeah,
it's also like you're doing 3 sets. You're doing so it's like that's also tough in itself. Like I got to do more after this.
Exactly.
Do more.
Exactly.
Can you, or that's just, you just do those 3 and that's it for the day?
That's it. No, for chest you're done, then you might do back and you do the same thing on back and you're done. But yeah, Mike Mincer, look up his workouts on YouTube. I mean, he's crazy, but it works. Yeah, it works.
So now we're speaking. So I was asking to speak to over 50 plus. Now for the younger crowd, your shoulders, cross training, what
running.
else? Running.
I didn't run when I was a bodybuilder. I just that's when I met Rose, like I told you, I used to laugh at her for doing cardio all the time.
Yeah.
I wish I was still doing cardio back in because I should have. Because you think about it, you try to get big, you're trying to get big and you're eating, but when you run, you develop your muscles so much better, and it's easier to put on muscle mass when you're lean than to just put on any weight whatsoever. So, but yeah. But you won't see a bodybuilder running. You just won't.
They don't do cardio.
No, they don't. Well, they do cardio during pre-contest.
Oh, yeah. What kind of cardio do they do?
Just the treadmill.
I've seen
30 minutes a day, hour a day. That's about it.
Yeah, I've seen that Lifetime. The big dudes run treadmill, or they do the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
Like those are their 2 things that they did.
Usually when they're getting ready for a contest, that's what they do. That's what we did.
So like, we're a running podcast, of course, but our runners, sometimes they're just runners. They don't want to get big, they want to get lean. But I think High Rocks is a great balance between that because you get strong, but also you're running.
Agree. Love it.
Yeah, so like there's this girl who I'm thinking of because of mine who is an amazing runner. Her name is Danny. Shout out to you, Danny. You've been on the podcast.
Yep.
She took down James. Yeah, amazing runner. I mean, amazing. Her just amazing runners. I believe that Danny has it. Not just too, of course, but like she has the capability. If she were just to try high rocks and do it, I mean, she would crush it.
She'd do well.
She'd crush it.
She would. Yeah, I totally agree. And, high rocks, and you know this, Rocky, it's half running.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's where people win or lose is with the running part.
Yep.
And if you can run fast and then you can do the obstacles or the demand, you'll do very, very well. Yeah, I think Jess and Danny would do well.
Yeah.
I do.
So, also, what else do you recommend for the younger crowds, like for recovery? Like, what was your recovery like back then? Was there a recovery? There was no hypergun back in the day. So what did you guys do?
You know what? We had no rollers, hyperguns. We had jacuzzis.
Oh yeah.
But nobody wanted the jacuzzi scared me, so I never got into the jacuzzis. But it was a day off. It was just a day off not to work out, but there was no recovery.
Oh my!
There was
goodness.
none. I remember bodybuilding. I would go and get my legs massaged, and when you get it massaged, it pushes all the bad
stuff out.
And I usually got the flu afterwards. 2 times I got it done, I got the flu.
Oh wow!
But just because all the toxins that they were pushing out of my system.
Dang. So what do you do now for recovery? What are some of your recovery things?
I use the gun.
Yeah.
I use the roller. Instead of running, I'll walk. I mean, I do something every day. Like Mondays and Fridays are my day offs, but I still will walk 3 to 4 to 5 miles. And then, the running, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then Saturday, Sunday.
On your day off, you're still walking.
I'm still doing something. I'm still doing something.
There is no days off then.
There's no days off. There's none.
That reminds me of a commercial, Super Bowl commercial of Emmitt Smith. He won the Super Bowl. I've only seen it on YouTube. I didn't see it live, I guess. I was too young. I was too young to remember it, at least. He won the Super Bowl, and then this is the Super Bowl after. This is the commercial after it, and he was lifting weight, and he took about a 10-second break. He goes, all right, rest is over. And he got back to lifting weight.
I remember that.
Back to it.
Yeah.
So this is you, like you're always at it.
Yeah.
There's never not.
Think about it. I did the high rocks. We did the high rocks together. And I went directly into the Aramco Chevron, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, directly into it.
Training for it.
So there was no break.
Mm-hmm.
And I was I was so tired. Jeez.
Well, even after that, you ran the next day.
Yeah,
right?
I ran the next day. I did. I ran the next day.
Usually people would take a few days off to like recover. You were like back at it.
Here's James. Well, take a day off, but you can run if you want. Okay, I'll run. Because I get up every morning, and the first thing I do is, what do I owe myself?
Mm-hmm.
I have to thank God, and then I owe myself 5 miles. 5+ miles every day. I have to do it. And if I don't mark that off my list, it's going to stay on that list all day and just going to irritate me.
I like that. I like that. So your mentality is awesome. I mean, you have this, I can do it type mentality. I'm going to do it mentality. Not only do you say you're going to do it, you get it done.
But I almost killed myself doing that, playing that game, okay? Yeah. But I was also a big drinker. Mm-hmm. And the only difference now is I don't drink anymore. Mm-hmm. But you can do it too much, and you can hurt yourself.
Yes.
So
that's good advice right there. Slow down? Is it slow down or just no?
I don't think I could slow down.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I could, because the only time I really slow down is when I'm hurt. Mm. And, you can't do it if you're hurt. And James has always been a big fan. Mike, slow down. Michael, slow down. And so, but like the 80-20 world was easy to me. That was easy. I mean, I had my heart under control in, 2 weeks, trying to keep it under that 125 pace. That was easy for me. And James is a good coach. He really is. And I respect you, and I look up to him a lot. And I don't look up to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I really don't. And as you know, I don't have a lot of friends. It's just me and Rose. But I truly love you and James to death, and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. I mean, you've had a highly successful life, not only in fitness, and literally in life, and in work.
Yeah.
Like you've done it. You've checked all the boxes that most people have in their what I'm going to do in my life. You have that.
But I'm not done.
And you're not done.
I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm not done. I don't know what the next chapter is going to bring, but God knows. And ever since I joined BC Fitness and the Church of Champions, I've become a different person.
Yeah. I mean, before you even joined BC Fitness, you're like, I'm not gonna run a marathon, half
Yeah.
marathon. I remember you told me when you told me you're gonna do things with James, but like I'll do it, but I'm not gonna I'm not training for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go. I need help with running a little bit. Like you knew, like you needed help with running, but you were like, I'm not gonna run a half. I'm not gonna do that. But then you did a half. You
I
did
got
two
hungry.
now.
I saw something.
Yeah.
I saw something, and James didn't push me at all. It's, if you want to do it, whatever. And I said, James, I think I want to do this. I do. I think I want to do this. And it was you remember when I got baptized? Me and James were running the trails at the YMCA. And this is such a special time to me because it was James in front and I was in the middle, and I think Lauren was behind us. And we were running. It was hot. It was hot on Tuesday morning. And we were talking. And I said, oh, yeah, James, there's something I've been wanting to ask you. He goes, what's that? I said, will you baptize me on Sunday? And I thought he was going to trip in the bushes. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. That's awesome to hear. I mean, you really changed your mind and you changed your life.
I did. Yeah, I did. And the quote stands, and it is real, but you have to believe in it, and you have to believe in yourself. You really do.
I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I mean, I've seen you change your mind and change it. I mean, you're security now at our church.
Yep.
You're here too. You're here.
Yep.
You're part of the church like we are. You're family.
Yep. That's right.
On both sides with me.
That's right.
Church and real. That is awesome. That's actually very beautiful. I like that. Never really thought about it like that. What was like some memorable moments in your journey? What was like some crazy things? We talked about the dinner with Arnold, but like what was other things that you're like, man, I did that. I was a part of that. Like I was.
Meeting Arnold was a big deal. Just to be able to shake his hand. That's you look up to him. He's in the magazines, and there he is. But there's been a lot of things that have happened in my life. People that I've met, things that I've done. I've been asked to write a book a couple of times just because of some of the things that I went through with the National Physique Committee. And, I thought about it, but I really just didn't want to put it on paper, my thoughts. But I don't know. I don't know. Dig into my brain because if you can ask a question, I can answer it.
So I remember we were watching some documentary or something. I think it was Labrada. Was it Labrada? Who helped you get a job, like your first job into where you're at right now, what you're doing? It was
into pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, was it one of those guys?
Or in my very first job?
I think pharmaceuticals. I think it was pharmaceuticals. I think we were watching a documentary. It was like, oh yeah, I used to work for this guy.
Jim Mannion. Mannion. So Jim Mannion is the owner and the president of the National Physique Committee. That's the amateur division to the International Federation of Bodybuilders, which is the pro division. So you've got your pros, and then you have your amateurs. And Jim's a great guy. He really is. I worked for him for 6 years. Like I told you, there was some political stuff that happened that we didn't see eye to eye, so we broke ties. But yeah, he's the one that actually called me after Deshae Ebert died and offered me the position. And But you see him on TV all the time. He's in the magazines. We used to go out to dinner all the time. It's just no big deal. He's just like me and you talking right now. So
even like Labrada, do you know him pretty well?
Yeah, I know Lee very well.
He's the one who has that big old factory right down the street, right?
That's right. Lee has got great products. I mean, he really does. I know we were talking about protein and stuff like that, but I just don't like the fillers. But he puts out a top-notch product, and he's just a good guy, Cuban guy, hard worker.
What's his product? I don't even know what it's called.
Lee Labrada. It's called Lee Labrada. He's got protein powder. He's got a lot of good stuff. He really does.
So what are you taking right now?
What do I take right now? Like I told you, I don't like proteins. I don't like the bars, but the big thing that I take that keeps me being a man is TRT, which is testosterone replacement. And I'm not embarrassed to say it because once a man turns 40 to 45, his testosterone will just decline by half. And when I first started going to my urologist, Larry Lipschultz, down the Med Center, who also used to treat the bushes, by the way, he tested and I was right around 150 to 200. I mean, females have that level. Okay, that's how low my testosterone was. And he got me on testosterone replacement and got it up to around 800 to 1,000. And I feel like a man again.
How long has this been? How long have you been doing that?
10 years. Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
So thoroughly enjoy that. Yeah. What else? I do a lot of magnesium. I do a lot of to sleep and for bumps and bruises. I only actually take 2 pharmaceuticals, pills. I take one it's an NSAID for my shoulder and my hip, anti-inflammatory, and then I take a Protonics for my stomach issue. That's it. And then everything else is just I take this thing called Endurance, and I take 3 pills a day, in the morning and at night 6, and it's really, really good. What else? That's really about it. I mean, I don't take a ton of stuff, but I used to do AG1, the stuff that Joe Rogan loves.
Yeah,
I actually got the preacher on it. I got the pastor on it.
Really?
And he loves it. He loves it. But I have to watch out what I drink because it could upset my stomach. So, yeah.
So what is AG1?
Oh my Lord! It's all the good stuff, man. It's all vitamins.
I
and
thought
nutrients.
it was like vitamins. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, it's just green. They call it the green.
Mm-hmm.
You just put it in water and drink it, and it's really good. It's expensive, but it's really good. Really, really good. 30 packets are running about $89, so it's expensive, but it's Joe Rogan swears by it.
I go to the Sam's Club and I get that GNC vitamin
Yeah,
pack.
yeah. Well, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. You can't always buy the cheapest stuff because it is probably the cheapest. I use products like Thorne, Thorne, Thorne with an E on the end of it. There's another one called Pure Encapsulation. I use that. Only good products.
Those are vitamins?
Those are vitamins and supplements that have been tested, and exactly what they say is in them. Like the creatine monohydrate that I take now is by Thorne. And it is so nasty. Oh, I hate drinking that stuff, but I drink it twice a day, and it works. It flat dab works. So
You talk about 45 and taking the TRT, like that's one thing that's going to happen is your testosterone. There's 2 things I've always thought about when I turn like 40 up. There's the prostate exam and then my testosterone going down. Those are 2 things I'm dreading. I'm already thinking about taking testosterone already because I have a buddy of mine who like, he's a year older than me. He tested for low T about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And he started taking it, and then I kid you not, this guy was nothing on his face. Came back with a big old beard.
Yeah,
Like next time I saw
believe
him,
it.
I was like, dang.
I believe it. But, I mean, if you think you have low testosterone, I would say get a urologist. Don't go to one of these little quack in the shack, shack quack. Don't do that. Go to a urologist. Let him test you. If he comes back, you're a prime candidate for testosterone. Boom, take it, and you're a man again. Seriously, there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah, what are the symptoms of that type of stuff? Like sleeping all the time? What is it?
What's that?
What are the symptoms of like low T?
Oh, lethargic,
Yeah.
sleeping all the time, depression. You don't want to do anything. You get fat. You literally get fat. So you've got in your body, you've got a ratio of testosterone and estrogen. Okay, so when your testosterone goes low, your estrogen stays high. So basically, you turn into a girl, basically. To say. So you've got to get your testosterone above your estrogen so you can be a man again.
Yeah, I've read somewhere not too long ago that like how the meat products we're having high amounts of estrogen in
because
it.
all the stuff that they put in them,
Yeah.
they really do. Yeah. So there's a reason kids are 6'2" and 380 nowadays.
Yeah, the hormones.
I mean, it's crazy. We didn't have that when I went to
Like
Klein.
9.
Yeah. I mean, you ought to see my nephews. I mean, Owen, he's just a little tank. He's, a freshman in high school, and he weighs like 210.
Dang.
I mean, and he's taller than I am. So, yeah, there's something definitely in the water. So
That's why I don't drink tap water.
Yeah, but, good supplements, they're out there. But another thing is growth hormone. Growth hormone will actually decline when you get to around 45 as well. And people usually won't do that because it's so expensive. But if you can take testosterone and growth hormone hand in hand when you're that age, you're going to look better, feel better, live longer.
Is that like HGH or like?
Yeah, HGH is human growth hormone.
And that's more like for like muscles and joints, like recovery? What is that for?
Well, it's like the fountain of youth. Okay, it like keeps you young. It keeps elasticity in your skin, collagen in your skin. It keeps your muscles vibrant. You can take a peptide nowadays, CJ 1295, that will actually, and I'm not promoting, I'm just saying, but 1295 that would actually, it tells your brain, your pituitary gland, to actually produce more of your own growth hormone. It's not synthetic growth hormone. It's an actual, your own body is producing your own stuff. So, yeah, it's a trip.
Dang.
Yeah. There's a lot of good products out there. You just have to research them and make sure you get them at the right place.
How do you research? How are you doing all this?
Word of mouth. My doctor, my urologist, prescribes me stuff like this. Yeah, so
I'm about to get his number.
he's really good. Larry Lipschutz, he's the best in the business.
I just saw James earlier today. I'm gonna show you this video, and you guys can watch this right now of James getting his HGH on, his injection this morning. I tell you, he's getting adrenochrome.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. I tell you what, that stuff works. Getting hydrated like that.
Yeah.
I did it before the Aramco. Friday before the Saturday. You can't do it Thursday before the Saturday because if you do it the day before the run, man, you've got so much energy. It's just unbelievable. So
That's awesome. And
yeah.
it's just B12.
Oh, B12 and just vitamins and nutrients and things that if you don't need it, you're just gonna pee it out anyway. But at the end of the day, you feel better the next day. You really do.
What would your pee look like back in the day when you were taking these crazy stuff? Was it like different colors or?
Well, no. So when you did the amino acids, it was no big deal. The only time your urine changes colors is when you do something with high B12. That's usually when it really, really changes. Another thing that we used to take would be raw liver and those big pills. Yeah, raw liver, these big raw, and they would just make your breath stink. They were just nasty, but they were another high source of protein. But here's the problem. With that big O amino acid and that big liver pill, your body couldn't digest it. So you were pooping out probably 95% of it, right? So it's just a big waste of money. And we didn't know that. Raw
liver pills.
Yeah, just nasty liver pills. Big, and they just stunk.
And what was the thought behind that again? What do you think they were going to
We thought it was just pure protein source. That's what we thought, pure protein source.
It makes sense, I guess.
But when you poop most of it out, it's not helping. It's not helping. So
that is awesome. The stuff y'all had to go through to like.
We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I mean, we got all our knowledge from a stupid magazine. Okay, and literally you go to the store and you pick a Muscle Mag, a Flex, any one of those, and they've got the bodybuilder going, "Hey, look at me. This is what I take to get big." Well, that's BS. We know what you take to get big, but you're making money on that product.
Yeah.
And those products don't work. I mean, most of them just don't work. But, somebody young and dumb, I'm going to get big. I'm going to go do that and get big. So
that's still happening today. I mean, with social media, they got, what are the influencers?
Yeah.
That's what I do. This is what I use. This is what I take. And then, girl, you got your body did. You went to the doctor.
Exactly.
And
you got Botox and you got a little tuck, little fill, and you look like the way you do.
Yep.
I mean, I talk to people all the time that have lost dramatic weight, and all of a sudden they're like, promoting a product, and I go, no, I didn't. I was like, whatever. So,
yeah, I see a lot of Ozempic going around.
Yes,
today people are using that.
That's crazy. You know what? Here's the problem with Ozempic, and if you take Ozempic, listen to this, okay? What is the 10, 15-year effect going to be? What is it going to be? Okay. Because you're taking a A1C product to lower your diabetes. Oh, I just can't imagine. You don't know what the long-term effects of these drugs are. You don't.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's what my fear is, because nowadays there's people actually younger than me taking, like, stuff for...
That's crazy.
Yeah, for...
I got a wedding. I need to lose 10 pounds, so I'm going to take Ozempic.
Not even... they're taking... There's like 18-year-olds right now taking, like, Viagra.
Oh, God.
Or stuff like that.
Why?
You're 18. This shit.
Why? Oh my Lord.
Yeah, and it's all just for different reasons. It's not because they need it. It's just to make it.
So I got a story, and we're on Patreon, so this is good. I remember when Viagra very first came out, and I didn't need it. None of my friends needed it, but so I was in a pharmacy. I think it was a Walgreens or something, and I knew the pharmacist real well, and he was like, "Oh yeah, the Viagra came out. Hey Micah, you need to try this." And I'm like going, "Well, I don't need it." He goes, "Here, just try it." And he gave me 100 milligram blue, little 100 milligram. They come in hundreds and 50. He didn't tell me to break it in half.
He gave you the big boy.
So I ate it. I was miserable. It was not, don't touch me. Leave me alone. This is not fun. Okay?
That's awesome.
Never again. Never again.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome. Oh, I don't even want to. Let's just keep it right there. I guess I know enough.
But yeah, we used to guinea pig all the stuff when I was young. We did. We used to guinea pig stuff, and if it worked, great. If it didn't, okay. But we're still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I didn't kill myself, so.
I mean, yeah, just with your background, what you were doing. I mean, those guys, most of the guys are hurting. Like the bodybuilders, powerlifters, they're hurting now.
Oh yeah, look at Ronnie.
Yeah.
I mean, Ronnie's hurting right now. I mean, but the weight that he I used to be in the gym and just.
It's unreal. Even
I
seen
mean,
it, I'm sure.
I didn't even know they made 200-pound dumbbells. 200. He's over there.
You saw him. You got the
Yeah.
working out. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
And I worked out with Jay Cutler once. We were where were we at? El Paso, and he was a guest poser at one of the shows I was promoting, and he came in, so I drove him around. And let's go work out. I go, okay, we can work. I was working out. I was big. Well, not his workout. He wanted to eat every 15 minutes. And I'm not kidding. We'd go over there and do leg press. He'd put 1,000 pounds on leg press and just do it. And then do another set. I go, Michael, I'm hungry. Well, go get something to eat. Go buy me a shake. All right, I go buy me. He'd be sitting there eating it, doing legs. I'd be throwing up. I mean, I would be puking. The weight that he was lifting. Oh, and I remember Nassar Simbadi came in town. Great dude, Egyptian. The guy had 4 engineering degrees. Smart, but wanted to be a bodybuilder. Look him up, Nassar Simbadi. And he wanted to go, and he was a week out from the Olympia. And I'm like going, okay, this guy's dieting, so I'm going to be careful where I take him out to lunch or to dinner. So we went to Houston's, when Houston still used to be around on Westheimer. Mm-hmm. And he could get a chicken and a baked potato. You know what he wanted? He wanted those shoestring potato, those fries. And he got 2 huge plates of them and was just eating them. I mean, I was watching this guy eat. And I remember we went to breakfast with Sean Ray. Sean Ray was a great bodybuilder, great body. And we were at breakfast, and all of a sudden somebody just came in and just put 8 baked potatoes in front of him. 8. Count them. And I watched him eat in an hour and a half span every one of those baked potatoes. Every one of them.
I would have took all these guys to buffets.
Oh, good point. So, I'd go pick up the guys, take them to the shows. We were definitely Gaddy's Pizza. That's where we're going, buffet. And they tore up the buffet. I mean, it was, don't come back. Please don't come back.
Yeah. I would have hated to see y'all walking up if I was running that place.
We're going to lose money, by the way.
I was like, oh, no.
These guys ate. They just ate crazy food.
Oh, my goodness. That is insane. Just to see, because I've seen people eat. I'm like, oh, man, you ate a lot. But 8 baked potatoes?
Oh, he just eating them. And the thing is, we're having a conversation about Wall Street, okay, talking about stocks. These guys are smart. I mean, these guys are smart. They have degrees just like I do. And we're sitting there talking about, well, hey, you a certain stock or something like that.
Goodness.
Yeah. We're not talking about We're talking about stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
These are grown men with backgrounds that are bodybuilders. Seriously.
And, just the count you're talking about, these guys, y'all are... That is awesome. You're meatheads, but, if just to be in a fly in the wall.
Yeah.
You see the stock price of the Dow
yes.
recently?
And you're like, where did that come from? Because I know that table's not talking about it.
Yeah.
But, there was... I've got so many stories because... I ran that crowd for a long, long time, and I enjoyed every minute of it. But it was funny. It's really sad because once they stopped being bodybuilders, they were nobody.
Life was over.
Life was over for them. Kind of like what you said about me. What did you? You have to push on to the next best thing. Mm-hmm. You can't just give up because it's actually like retiring and you're going to die.
Yeah.
You have to do something else.
Yeah. There's seasons in life.
Yeah.
Their season of being the elites was over, but they could have been coaches or they could have been the new leaders. I mean, the guys who run it, who help people come into the game and show them the next ropes. And I guess they chose whatever they chose.
Exactly. So funny story. So my girlfriend at the time, Lisa Keeter, threw a surprise birthday party for me, and she invited all my friends. And so I came home and surprised all these bodybuilders, huge. Just the neighbors were out there taking pictures with cameras. They just could not believe the meat that was just walking around.
I bet y'all had to run out a factory for that
Oh
place.
my Lord, it was so much fun. It was good. I mean, it could have been a Netflix moment, seriously,
Yeah.
because the amount of pros that were there, plus amateurs, just all my friends. They
Yeah.
were all my friends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's part of like life. You have these moments that are just amazing, and you just, the worst part of like I guess the worst people already know like the worst stories like people who never got out of high school.
Yeah.
Like they peaked there,
Yeah.
like I could have went pro if I had this play.
Nah,
I have
no.
a friend. I literally, if I see him, I just ran to him a few months ago at Target, and literally the last thing before I said goodbye, he was, "Be honest, I should have started right over another guy." He named. I'm like, "Yeah,
Wow,
you
he-
should have
he's
started."
still
Yeah.
stuck.
He was stuck.
Now, if you notice my entire journey that we talked about today, this journey, we didn't talk about high school.
Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
like high school.
Yeah.
It was not fun for me.
Yeah.
I could not wait to get out of high school and start my life because high school was not life to me.
Yeah.
It was not.
Mm-hmm.
So-
There's people who never left.
No.
There's people who like never mentally left, and they stay there, and there's people who stay in their career, like they stay where they're at, and it's hard to like. So a lot of athletes who retired, they hate on the new guys who are coming in, like, oh, they couldn't do what we did, or they couldn't make. It's like, it's your time is up. Like, man, you could open the door and be there for them, but yet you choose to like try to push them down, and you're
yeah.
closing doors for yourself.
Exactly. Yep.
And you just keep opening doors. You're constantly just pushing doors
have
down.
to. You have to.
You're knocking
Yeah.
walls over. So I mean, that's a beautiful thing to see right there.
It's like what we talked about when I was talking about Mickey, my therapist. You run the route, you run the gamut. You run it as long as you can, and then you've got to find something else. You do. And I was talking to Mickey about that this morning, and she was telling me, she goes, you're a unicorn. She called me a unicorn.
You are a unicorn, pretty
And
much. No one
she
does
goes,
it.
yeah, and she goes, you should not be doing the things you're doing at your age, and you're not done. You're not done. You're still looking for other things to do.
Yep.
I'll be honest. I want to set the world record for over 60 at High Rocks.
Oh, snap.
I want to. I don't know if I can, but that's a goal. That's an objective I would like to do. Rose will listen to this and probably laugh at me,
Yeah.
but it's not beyond my grasp. I think it's like 59 minutes. And would we do a 112 as a
Yep.
double? I mean, let's talk about our High Rocks. We didn't talk about High Rocks.
That's another thing we didn't talk about.
Yeah, we
We
didn't talk
should've
about
just
High
did it.
Rocks.
This may just be a second episode.
Yeah.
I may just combine them together.
Yeah, or
Bleep
bleep
some
this
of
out
the-
and
yeah, bleep
tape
some
that
of the
in.
things- bleep
And
some
that's
of the
fine.
things we
Do
talked
that.
about.
Yeah, do that. But yeah, I mean, High Rocks. Well, you go ahead. You're more into High Rocks, and I just kind of followed. So.
Yeah, so I mean, of course, we talk about High Rocks a lot on this show. Y'all may know what it is. It's half running, half fitness, and the fitness, it sucks. There's 8 stations, and between each station, you're running 1,000 meters. First station, you got the skier, then you have sled push, sled pull, rower,
Skier.
burpees,
Walking lunges, burpees.
walking lunges, wall balls. Finish it off with 100 wall balls.
Farmer's carry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
Oof.
And it just a whole bunch of suck. It's all it is. It's just suck.
The whole thing is suck.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
literally an hour of suck.
yeah, yeah. And we chose to do it together.
Yeah.
We did double, so it averaged our age out. We were doing 40 to 44 age group. Saying, and that age group is not easy.
No, it's
I
not
mean,
easy
it
at
is
all.
not-
I mean, I was bringing you down, and you were bringing me down.
Yeah,
On
exactly.
both sides, but I didn't care because I wanted to do it with you.
Exactly.
You're my son-in-law. I wanted to do it with you. So
Yep.
yeah.
And so we did that. We were, I mean, the winning times are like 56, 58.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're
Oh, yeah.
they're flying. Those guys
Yeah.
are flying. And we did it together. Whew. Whew. I mean, that's all you can really say about it. But I mean, we complement each other very well. Because
Yeah.
I got the speed and I got the endurance where you have the brute strength of
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
just power.
Yeah,
like I remember the
just
first
do
High
it.
Rocks, we weren't even together the first High Rocks we did. You had a relay and I had my own relay team, but we ran the skier at the same time. And I beat you to the skier,
Yeah.
but you're pure muscle and just pure brute. Like the video, I'm actually gonna put the video right here. The video, you didn't even look.
No, I was looking at your
yeah,
score. I was looking at you. Yeah.
You didn't even look straight. The whole time you're looking at me, and we just beat him, and you beat me.
Well, no, I didn't beat you. My technique was horrible.
But your time, you beat
Yeah,
me.
but you know what? I left it all at the skier.
Yeah.
I didn't have nothing left.
Yeah.
Okay, you had something left. I had nothing left.
But you also won yours A division that day.
Yeah, we did. Well, there was only one.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. I'm gonna just cut that out. They don't know. But y'all won y'all's age division, and you like that pure strength right there. I was like, all right, I could work with that. That's pure strength. And so you brought that every single time. We've done it twice now. You brought that every single time. Pure strength. I mean, you got form since then, but just pure strength. And then just the technique. You came. I remember we had a meeting with James before we do it. You had notes. You had your notepad. Like, this is what I'm gonna stick to the plan. You had I like that mentality. I like that. The attention to detail you have. And so now we're in race. I guess the most recent one we just did was here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Skier.
We kicked butt. We did good. We did.
We
PR, man.
We PR. We beat ourselves.
Yeah, we did.
And that's really the main thing that people need to understand. You're here to beat yourself, and we beat ourselves. But we were in a 44 to 8. And we also had number 1 burpee time.
That's
overall,
right. We did. We
over
even beat James. We did.
Teams.
Yeah, James will probably bleep this out.
That
Yeah, we beat James.
That wasn't even part of the 44 age break. That was all the doubles.
Yeah,
that were there.
everything.
We had number 1.
Yeah, we were number 1. Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
We had a top 5 time with something else. I don't remember what it was. It might be in a rower or something. But we had a top 5
Yeah,
time.
we did. We did well. We did good.
We did great. We just, we just kind of beat ourselves towards the end. I guess the wall balls got
No. I'll take full blame for that. My bad shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You took over wall balls and you got us home.
Yeah,
You did because I kept going. I kept missing.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't. I kept missing, and you're not going low enough. So yeah, you brought it home.
But I mean, let's not give it all to me because we skier.
Yeah.
You're a moving rower. You're a moving.
Yeah.
I mean, just that pure strength, and then you have height over me. So I guess I don't know. I'm making excuses why you beat me, and then sled push, sled pull.
No, but at the end of the day, it was about
strength.
running.
Yeah.
If you basically towed the way,
Mm-hmm.
and I followed you running because that was half of it.
Yeah.
But we did it.
Mm-hmm.
We did it, and it hurt.
Yeah. Well, the first time we did it, like. You're running. You were good at running, but like you were. I guess you weren't. We weren't. We both. That was our first time doing the doubles. We just didn't. We weren't expecting that much hurt.
Well,
so we had to
plus,
slow down a little bit.
When we'd stop and drink water and have a muffin and talk about how's the family doing.
Yeah.
We were just wasting time. We didn't waste time the second time.
No, the second time we kept pace.
Yeah.
And we stuck to it. I mean, we beat our time. We with the main goal.
Yeah.
And that was. How do you feel like after coming out of the sled push? Like, how does it? What do your legs feel like coming out?
Like jello.
Yeah.
I felt bad. But what I liked about some of the things that we did was when I noticed that you were just about, I pulled you.
Yeah.
And you did the same with me because you don't want to. You want to get right to it, but not to it, as far as exertion.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned that. And I was grabbing, get out of there. Let me do it. And so we never let ourselves get exhausted. We never did. So.
Yeah, we just got exhausted on our own.
Exactly. I mean, we could have picked up time if we could go back and wall balls. If we, that was my fault. And then maybe run a little bit faster. We can break 110.
Mm-hmm.
We can definitely break 110.
Mm-hmm.
We can.
Yeah, but one thing that's tough though, it's hard to see who you're competing against in High Rocks because there's so many who are running laps and all that. So there was one guy that I was really competing against that we were going against. Brian Sandoval.
Yeah, Brian. Uh-huh.
But I was just my main thing was all right, we're running faster than them and we're moving faster than them. All right, that's it. We got them. That's one of my main things. That was one of my main goals we had. Well, in my head, I had. But it was hard to see who we were running with because eventually you just lose them all to all the other
plus
age
you're
groups
so
that were
tired.
there. Yeah.
You're just I'm just following you, following me, and it's just do we stop now? I mean, yeah.
But as a competitor, you see for running, of course, you see the people you're running against. Sometimes you're like, okay, this is the guy I got. In Spartan, I used to run Spartan. My age bracket, we went against ourselves. So out of the blocks, I knew I was in the lead. I knew, or those two guys are in front of me. I'm gonna stay with them the whole time.
Yeah.
And those are my targets. It's hard to keep a target because you never lose them because they're always there. You're always either right beside them or right behind them or right in front of them. You never have that in High Rocks because they're. You lose them in the crowd.
You don't know exactly because
you lose in the crowd.
Yeah,
and
I mean it's really strange, but I mean you can overthink it and run an extra lap, or underthink it and not run enough laps and get penalized. I mean, it's you really have to strategically think about what you're doing while you're exhausted.
Yeah,
while you're mentally and physically exhausted.
And that's one of the hardships of the battle of competition. To stay there mentally, even though everything is hurting. I mean, but Spartan, when I was in Spartan, I never lost a race. I mean, in my age bracket, I never lost a race. I won them all. I got second in one now, I think about it. But, I was hurting. I used to hurt, but my whole time was like, okay, this guy and this guy. I got this obstacle coming up, and once I finish that obstacle, I got 3 more. I'm gonna catch him on the Hercules. I'm gonna catch him on this. I would name I knew the obstacle I was gonna catch him on and how far I had to get there. So like whenever I got to that point, it's like, all right, time to take off. Like I'm leaving him here, and I would leave them there, and then that was it. Like never hear from him. It was like strike now, because if you don't strike now, you're gonna lose it.
You're done.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And the one race I did get second place is because I told myself, you got a little more time. I was hurting. So you got a little more time. And this dude caught me at the very end. Oh, that hurts. Nothing hurts worse
you
than
had
that.
it, too.
Yeah.
You had
Nothing
it.
hurts worse than those. So, like, in High Rocks, every time you're hurting, and you're like, okay. And you see everything you got next. And I would tell whenever in High Rocks, you don't know where all the stations are at sometimes. They're all, like, scattered. One's over here, two's over here, four.
Like, where'd I go? Where'd I go?
Exactly. So whenever we're running a lap, the first thing, like, okay, where's my next one? Well, we're going to 2. Oh, there goes 2. Sorry.
Yeah.
How do we get over there? I'll see people coming and going. I was like, all right. So when am I running my lap? That's thing in my mind is, okay, we're keeping the pace, but where are we going? Like, how do we get to that point? Where's the entrance to station 2? Because I remember the burpees were like way
on the back. Yeah.
And you had to like kind of go through some little hallway just to get over there. It was just, so that was like how my mind is during High Rocks. What was your mind like?
Same thing. It's just like, I think they do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, because you're mentally exhausted, you're physically exhausted, your brain's not working, and you know what? You still got to stay focused on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would have done single the first time out without a partner, because then you really would be looking around.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of times where I leaned on you and you leaned on me at times, and I was mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
It sucked, but I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I would do it again in a heartbeat. But, you have to define pain. Is it mental pain or physical pain? I mean, a physical pain is a torn muscle, a broke bone. If it's a mental pain, keep going. I mean, keep going. If you can't breathe, slow down. But, I mean, come on. Don't quit. Don't stop.
Amen to that. I mean, the only time you ever want to quit, probably lunges and wall balls.
Oh, gosh. Those are so painful.
And that's what ruins wall balls for you, is that lunges right before.
Oh, yeah. And they know that, too. They know it. Those lunges, I mean, your legs are just like noodles. Then you got to run 1,000 meters. And it's like, and just the anticipation of, I got to do wall balls, it drives you down.
And then that's also another thing you got to think about when you're having a partner is stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Who's going to do how many burpees? How's he going to do it?
Yep.
And then you got to, like, recalibrate if you're hurting. Like, oh, I can't do 5 right now. He got to do 7. I got to do 3. Like, I can't do this. Or he's got to do a little bit longer.
We did that on lunges. I remember I brought it home at the end.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I was
but
hurt.
no, let me handle this. And I remember the judge got on to me because my bad shoulder. She goes, I said, I can't. I can't hold this bag. And then they finally let me go. But yeah, but that's what partners are for, to bring it through, to bring it home. So.
Yeah, and it kind of has like a little metaphor on life is. That race you cannot do alone. The doubles you're not meant to do doubles alone, and you're supposed to lean on somebody with life. Like you got to have someone to lean on. Like you have your wife.
Yeah,
you got to have support. You got to have not even just that. You have this church family now. You got James. You got me. You got people you can lean on. And I mean, have you always had someone to lean on to be there throughout all this stuff, throughout all the injury, the multiple injuries you had, the different things you had to go through? Was someone always there in your corner, or you just you found your own wheel? Was it?
Well, during bodybuilding, I always had a workout partner. Always had a workout partner. It was either another competitor or I was mentoring somebody, trying to bring them up. But I never did it by myself because I couldn't do the weight that I needed to by myself, and it's just a pain in the rear end to keep asking people for spots. That's not who I am. So I always had somebody to lean on there. Powerlifting, the same thing, always had a partner. Running has just always been by yourself. But since I got involved with this community, I know that I can, Saturday runs, Sunday runs, Tuesday run, there's 4 days during the week when you don't have to run by yourself. So
yeah, I mean, you do all the runs. You do you're a team player.
Yeah.
Because it's tough, it's tough to try to do things on your own because you're really not meant to. I mean, it's biblical, man.
We're not here. You're not supposed to be a man on an island.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to be, get out and be with people and stuff like that. But James is a really good coach, and I'm not saying that just to boost his ego because he knows how I feel about him. He's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
And I know he didn't think. I don't know what we thought of each other when we first met each other, but I was like, he's not going to push me to do that, and he didn't push me, but I did it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I found out James was a good coach the hard way. I did not want to let because I was winning these races, doing these things, and me and him did a double half. We did a relay half marathon, him and I together, and he was coming in, and I remember seeing the people at the line because I did the last 6.8 miles, whatever it was, and he did the first. It was a little bit shorter, but he did the first leg, and I closed it off. But I remember I remember looking at everybody on the start at the lines like, okay, who am I running against? Okay, these are all the guys I'm doing this with. All right, cool. And I remember just seeing the first people come by, and there's one guy just taking off. And I was like, oh, my goodness, where's James at? Come on. I waited. It was about 2-3 minutes. Like, James, come on. We're losing here. And he came, and he handed the baton to me. It wasn't even a baton. It was just like a high five, and you take off. I took off. I started running as fast. I mean, I think I had like a 5:15 split, like the first 2 miles.
Wow.
And I caught the guy.
Yeah.
I caught him, and I stayed behind him the entire rest of the way, the next 4 miles. Like, just behind him. I was breathing down his neck. I have a photo, I posted right here, of me right behind him during, like, just smiling, like, and we're stride for stride. Like, we're both our feet are off the ground at the same time. It was like, this is a perfect photo. But I was right behind him. I was like, I'm not losing you. I'm tired, but I'm not losing you. I stayed with him all throughout the way. And he kind of broke off the last 200 meters. He kind of got away from me because I went too fast. Like, it might have been like a 5:08. It was too fast for the first 3 miles. And then we were going maybe 5:50 after that, him and I. I was matching his pace, and he got away, and he literally started celebrating right before the finish line, about 20 yards.
You got him.
I flew right past him, and I remember just going across the finish line, and he's like, no! We just started yelling. He got so mad at himself.
Awesome. That's awesome.
He got so mad at himself. And at the very end, they started going. They do the awards. They tell us our times. We beat them by like 4 minutes. James was never in second place. James just started way behind the guy in first.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So even him doing this, you still won.
Yeah, I would have still won.
Yeah, you still won. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you got some giddy up in you.
Yeah.
I will say that about that. You got some giddy up in you. I remember when you were trying to qualify to do that crazy desert run.
I'm doing that again.
What it was called? Habanero?
Habanero.
Oh, my Lord. But I remember I was out doing my track work Sunday morning, and you came out, and you had to run a 6-minute mile.
Yeah, I had to run a mile because we did tryout to get what team you were on.
And you did it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, my God. I mean, you just smoked it, So
yeah,
you got some giddy up. You do. You do.
Yeah, that was, but, how I found out James was a good coach. I was doing all these crazy things, and one day he was like, you're welcome. I did this. I helped you out. I was like, what are you talking about?
That sounds so James.
I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, James. I go to Lifetime, like I would go to Lifetime. I did all the other, I wasn't just working out at BC Fitness. And I was kind of like, I did this. I mean, I put the effort in. You didn't do this. And so I stopped talking to him for like 2 months, and then right before the marathon, and I actually stopped running for a while. And then I started running again, and I never ran more than, I think, 13 miles. I did a half marathon for workouts. I never ran more than that. And I was doing those. My workouts, I was probably running marathon half at like 1:30, 1 hour 30 minutes. Like that was my workout time. I was moving.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was like, I'm gonna crush the marathon. I just got to run this twice, easy. Nope, that did not.
Where did it hit you? Where did it just go? Woof?
I did the half like 120 something.
Yeah,
and I was on top of the world.
That's a great time.
Yeah, and then there's like a drop. And then it comes back up. There's a climb up. I remember like, ooh, I felt a little climb. That hurt a little bit. I just kept running, and probably about mile 18, almost to mile 20, I was like, I think I'm slowing down. And then mile 20, and then I took off my mittens I had because it was cold. I took those off, and I stuffed them in my bag, my little pouch I had, and those fell, and I got cold again. I was like, where my mittens at?
You lost them.
Yeah, I got angry at myself. The little attitude, like, oh, what is going on? And then I lost one of my pouches. I didn't bring enough pouches. And everything started going downhill from there. And I remember just shuffling and, like, wanted to cry so bad because I was hurting so bad, but I was like, you better not walk because if you walk, you're not going to finish. If you stop here, you're not going. Like, my hamstring just felt like it was going to pop the whole time. It was miserable. Like, that's the worst pain other than habanero. But I did that, and I was like, dang, James was right. I should have listened. And, like, I didn't show my face around him for, like, another year. I couldn't do it. I was like, I couldn't, like, say, you were right. It was my pride in me. But then, you know, self-reflection, then kind of owning up where you're wrong. You got to admit people got to admit when they're wrong. I was wrong. So I came back, you know. And James, that's the cool thing about James. Didn't blow it in my face. No questions were asked. No nothing.
Didn't miss a stride. It was like,
all right, here we go. Come work out. It was right back to where it was. I'm like,
never miss a stride.
That's that makes a good coach right there.
James he's such an amazing person. I mean, when I first met him, I was like real standoffish. You know, who's this guy? And he's like, who's this guy? You know, and I really didn't get the full flavor of James until I went to church the first time, and he sings, and all of a sudden he just busts out, starts singing, and I'm like, wow, this is the person. I really know that person now, and but he's a good leader. He really is.
That's actually kind of the crazy. I have kind of the same story. Is that we used to work at this gym across the street together, did the Ninja Warrior stuff. And one day I used to have this coworker. Me and him would stay after we would do Bible studies. I was kind of growing my relationship with God and getting stronger at it. Me and him would do these Bible studies. One time James came late and was like, hey, man, you got to come to my church whenever you can. I literally go to church right across the street. You should come and join me whenever.
Did you not know? Or
I didn't know this at the time.
Okay,
I didn't know he worked that he went to church. I didn't know any of that type of stuff. And so I came on a Wednesday night right here in this room next door. And he said, oh, you made it. Cool. We're talking and just making a little small talk. He goes, all right, I'll be right back in a little bit, okay? Just find a seat. I was like, cool. This dude walks up to the front of the class with like 40 people and just started preaching. He used to do these classes on Wednesday nights called Coffee House, and he would preach. I was like, oh my goodness. I didn't know he was a preacher. I talked crazy.
I know, right? Talk smack.
I would talk crazy back over there at the gym. Like just all this crazy. Like, who the heck is this guy? And like I didn't know that part of James. I didn't know any of that. And it just blew my mind. And then ever since then, he kind of just blew my mind ever since. Like I didn't even start coming since then. Like I wasn't even it. That was a little more after that. Like maybe 3 years after that, I would come like I knew it was here, so I'd be maybe once, twice a month. I'd come and get a little fixing in and go on about my day. But then it took about 3 years after that. One day I was just hanging out with a buddy of mine, and me and him would go to church together. We actually met at that gym, and he was a little older than me. He was we used to go watch basketball games together, like playoff basketball games. He's now in charge of Texas there's a Christian faith organization for athletes. I think it might be something like that for high schoolers. He's in charge of all of that now in Texas. This is before he did all that. This was just the PE teachers at elementary school.
It's called fellowship, or
it's like that. It's like
Christian athletes.
I think
Fellowship of Christian athletes. Yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So now he's in charge of that, and this is when he was just the PE coach. He had got like baptized, and he called me. He goes, "Hey, I remember you used to read the Bible at the gym. Like, you want to go to church together?" And he took me to this church, and we'd go out drinking. We go watch basketball games or whatever to a sport. We go out and do that kind of stuff. And then one day I was like, "Hey, you want to go to this church?" And we came to hear it one day, and James was preaching again on a Wednesday, and he knew James. He was cool with James, and then I got baptized. I ended up just getting baptized. I was like, I want to get James at the end. Was like, anybody want to get baptized? Feel like stuff's not going the way they want it, blah, blah, blah. You feel like you know. I was like, yeah. Like,
God bless.
I think it's about time.
Yeah,
I got baptized, and I remember James, like, gave me a hug. He's like, you don't got to do this alone no more. I was like, cool, because I got the Holy Spirit now, because I got baptized. The next day I get a call saying, hey, I'm going running. You want to go running? I was like, okay. Little did I know what he meant was like, you're not going to do this alone. He goes, you got to hang out with me. I'm going to start calling you.
I'm going to be your friend now.
Yeah.
I'm your buddy now.
And so every day we'd go running after that. We'd started running, and then a month later he was like, hey, I'm going to do this thing called Spartan. You want to come join me in Dallas? I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And we did an open, and like that was the drug. Like that was like,
all right.
Like, yeah, I was like, oh my goodness.
That's all it takes, man.
Yeah.
It's all it takes, seriously.
That was like the beginning of my and he had just opened the gym up. He had just like started the gym and doing Sunday fun days. And so, yeah, that was the beginning of all this, where I'm at today, is how our relationship has grown. And that was crazy. That was 7 years ago now. Yeah, it was a while. 8 years. 7 years ago since, like, we got that close and did all those things. But I've known him since, like, 2012.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I didn't know he was a pastor until about 2014. And or semi-pastor, whatever he is. I think now he just got officiated the other day to be a pastor. Literally, our pastor at the church is like, James, because James did a
I'm
wedding.
not calling him pastor. So
Yeah, no,
I'm not.
James did a wedding on Saturday.
Oh, God.
He officiated the wedding. It was awesome. It was awesome.
That's amazing.
And so our pastor was like, "I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah.
You're on call now. If I can't make it, you're up.
going.
You're up. You're on deck."
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was awesome because James, I mean, he kind of has it in him. I always told him, man, you got it in you, James. Like,
Just do it.
Yeah, it's
Just
in
do
you.
it.
Like, because most people, they got to like write something and do all that. He just talks.
No,
That's
it
why
just
he has a
comes right out.
podcast.
It just comes out,
You
man.
don't need to write anything. He just goes and
Yeah.
he comes out and it's like prophetic. I'm like, gosh,
Well,
how do you
this
do
is
that?
what he does. This is his gig. You
Yeah,
know?
literally,
So,
he's 24/7. Like
yeah.
the James you get on here is the James we get in real life,
That's right.
and so I like that part about him too. But yeah, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
He's a good
Yeah,
person,
yeah.
and like I
Yeah.
said, I found out the hard way. Don't find out the hard way. Just listen. And but you also show that too. You also show submission. Like you showed that. You said when you started your fitness journey on, you said that you got a guy at the gym. You started listening to him.
Oh, yeah.
You started
You
listening.
got to
to him.
learn. I mean,
Yeah.
you just can't go there and do this.
Yeah,
I
you don't
mean,
know
this-
everything off the rip, and it's
you
okay to
don't-
not know,
You're
right?
going to get hurt. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah. So Ed Brake actually he taught me. I followed him. I wouldn't necessarily say in today's standards it was the right thing to do the way he worked out, but I got big. I got big and I got strong, and that's
Yeah.
all that mattered. And you know that was the pinnacle beginning of it. So
Yeah, and then I mean, you just went from there. I mean, you listened to your football coach. You didn't want to do football, but you did football.
yeah, he goes, "You'd be a great linebacker." No, I won't. I don't want to do that, and I did it anyway. Of course, I got hurt, but
Yeah.
I think I knew better in the back of my brain. But why not? This is a
Yeah.
new journey. Let's try it.
But also,
So,
if you didn't get hurt, you ended up did powerlifting.
that's true.
And then did
Yeah, well,
you
you never know where the journey would go
Exactly.
after that, right? You never
Submission.
know. So
yeah. I mean, you are. Now you're a mentor. You know, now you're at the level where people got to listen to you, and it's like,
well, they don't have to, but it's nice when they do. But
yeah.
a lot of people, you know this, when you talk, they listen to you, but they half-heartedly listen to you because it's like, I can't do that, or it's not I won't do that.
Yeah.
I
What does he
mean,
know?
Yeah, what does he know? That type thing. And it's like, I don't care. This is my journey, and if you decide to be a part of it, great. And I'm going to keep doing my thing, and I'm not going to let anybody detract me from it. I love it. I love competing. I love beating people, and it's not really beating people. I remember that James used to tell me, he goes, every time I'd pass somebody, I'd just take their soul. I just take their soul.
Yeah, that competitor in you, that's fun.
Yeah.
When you get that drug. I remember when you were running your half, I was watching it on my phone. I was like watching a little, because you can like follow somebody, and it would kind of tell you what mile marker they're at. And I was texting your wife. I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's getting close. Like, he's on pace to do it.
I was having a blast.
Yeah, then you did it. I was like,
The thing about doing the Ramco the way that I did it is I trained with the marathon. I trained with James and the marathon people. So I was running up to 50, 55 miles a week. And to do 13.1 miles, it was really nothing. But what slowed me down was I was enjoying running with Trent and his wife. So for the first 8 miles before we broke off, I was running around a 9-minute mile with them, just taking it easy, enjoying the scene. That's when I started speeding up, was on the last half, and that's when you told me, he goes, man, your back course was better than your front.
Yeah.
And but yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed that run. It really did. It wasn't hot. It was cool outside. I was having a good time with the people that I was running with, and I got under 2 hours. The next time I'll do it, I'll get under a minute 30. So yeah,
That's what you want, a negative split, and you
That's
had
right.
that. That's good.
Right.
Whew, man, we did it
We did.
again.
And there's a lot more to talk about. There's a lot on the table. So the thing about me and my age and my experience, you have to ask the right question to get an answer, because I can only remember back so much. I can remember, but if you ask the question, it'll jog a memory, and I
Yeah.
can get it to you. So
Yeah, I think you, honestly, without me even have to ask the question, you just kind of answered them on your own. I was serious. I was looking, I was like, oh, no, he already talked about that.
we talked about that. Yeah.
'Cause actually, what has been some similarities in bodybuilding and running that you've seen, like, whether
There's no similarities.
Nothing at
No,
all?
There's none. There's none whatsoever. It's either go to the gym and get big, and or go run as many miles as you can. there's really no similarities,
Dang.
not to me, because running is all cardio endurance, and bodybuilding is all just anaerobic. That's all it is, just all anaerobic work, and it's not aerobic at all. So
Unless you're,
I
unless
couldn't put the two. But we do. But when we do high rocks, we're doing both.
Mm-hmm.
When CrossFit, now they're doing both, running and doing it. And those people are beasts, man. Those CrossFit people, jeez.
How did you
strong.
rip your bicep? How did you hurt yourself?
Oh my Lord! So it was at the end of a workout. I was exhausted. You've done CrossFit, so you know. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to do one more set light of hammers. And I was doing them 17, 18. And I just felt this electrical shock go zzz, all the way to my ear. Just shocked me, man. I literally felt shocked. And I looked down there, and there it is. You can see the hole right there. I mean, if you look at both biceps, you can see the hole.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, right there, man, just ripped. And then I remember I was once again exhausted. And so we were running 200 meters back, 200 meters, and it was a gravel pit. So when I turned, I hit gravel and I twisted, and you could hear pop, just like a rubber band going pop. And it was my hamstring. And I went home and I was all black and blue. But luckily, you had 3 hamstrings on each side of your back of your leg, so I didn't need it. So I didn't see,
Like a cat with 9 lives. You just lost one. It's all okay. Oh my goodness. Where was that at?
that was at here. I was training at the Silverback CrossFit Studio. That was
That's
the
off
name
249, huh?
Well, it was off Luetta. Off Luetta, just past Spring Stubner. I don't know if it's still around, but that's where it was then. So.
And what made you get into CrossFit? I like how you were open minded to try different things.
I just wanted to try something new. I thought it looked cool. You know, I said, I could do that. I think I could do that. But what happened was with CrossFit, when I first went there, they saw how big I was in my size. So they were making me do things that were way out of my element, not warming up properly. I remember there was this kid from A&M. He was home for the summer, and he goes, okay, go over there and do squats. I go, okay. He goes, and so I loaded it up. I was going to do 135, then 225, and no, I'll just put 335 on it and squat it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that's going to work. I'm going to get right to that one. No, idiot.
Yeah.
So,
When I was in peak shape, when I was good, when I was at 155, 157, I had a guy who used to go here at the Ninja Gym. He ended up owning his own CrossFit gym downtown. And I saw him one day when I was going to school. I was like, Big Phil. I was like, Phil, what are you doing? He goes, I'm about to work out. What are you doing? I was like, I'm about to go to school. He goes, when you're done, come over here. I was already in workout gear, thankfully. He was like, you want to do a workout together? I was like, because I remember him when he used to be over there. He used to do CrossFit, but by himself. I was like, nah, I don't really want to, but I will, just because I know it's been a while. We can catch up and talk. Oh my goodness, they don't play like.
it's serious. It's serious.
The high reps, high weight.
Yes.
And then they also do a little bit of running in there.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. I mean, some of the stuff that we were doing, but I was doing it. You know, I was doing it because I did it twice. First time I tore a bicep. Second time I tore a hamstring. So I think 3 times a charm. I don't think I'll do it again, but it's a wear and tear on your body because you exhaust the muscles so much, and then you want to do a little bit more and you hurt yourself.
Yeah.
And so I look up to those guys. I mean, because that's heavy duty.
It's heavy duty and it's endurance based at the same damn time.
Yeah. And so I like high rocks because it's just a little bit of it. It's a taste of it, but it's not full blown.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Making our episode turned out to be way longer than I thought it was going to be. Maybe do a Patreon next time because it's turning out to take the Patreon, stole that episode for this because they needed it. They needed to hear this.
Good stuff.
What do you
Good
think
stuff.
about? Is that okay with you? We just did this.
No,
for the
you do what you
Patreon?
need to do. I'm here. I'm just here. So just tell me what you want to tell me what you want me to say. So
any closing remarks you want to tell the people? Anything you have to say to get off your chest?
really don't have anything. It's just I appreciate y'all letting me talk about my fitness journey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only one person, but I've got God right beside me, and I've got my wife right on the other side of me, and I'm thankful, I'm blessed, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
And it's because of this. It's because of this community.
Mm-hmm. And you got us behind you.
That's right.
Yeah, we're pushing you.
Absolutely.
Come on, Group Hall.
That's it. Group Hall.
Yeah. That's the name that my daughter calls him. Group Hall.
Yep, and it's the if you see Group Hall on the street, it's on my tag. So
Yeah, that's the license plate. We're not going to say what
License plate.
vehicle, but that's the license plate. That's awesome. You do own that. People, as you can see, illustrious guest. As you can see, he's proved it. As you heard today, I mean, we have to just do another episode. It's because the wisdom that was coming out of here just pouring out. We have to get James in the room, too, just so they can discuss what they can discuss. Thank you for tuning in. If you don't know, if you haven't already, tune into our Patreon. We got to shoot a Patreon episode. Surprise.
we can do that.
Yeah.
We can get a little bit more flavor and color.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little deeper.
Yeah. So tune into our Patreon. I mean,
I'll make it worth your $1.
there you go. You see that? If you haven't followed James and Lauren, I don't know their handles, but I'll put it right here. There it goes. No social media, right?
I don't do any social media. No,
Yeah.
that's not me. It's not my style.
Same here, so
But
don't follow
if you
us.
need to contact me, trueresults@gmail.com.
There you go.
Trueresults01 at
If you have any
gmail.com.
questions for him, want some wisdom, I mean, he's a great mentor to have, I'll tell you that much, especially on the runs. It's good to talk to him. That's all I got. You know, if you change your mind,
You change your life.
peace.
Peace out. Thank you.